Hi, and welcome to Thursday Movie Flashback. My name is Lawrence, also known as a punk with underscore toys. Um, and my co host is Matthew. How are you doing? And look at that, I said Matthew.
I'm doing well.
I should have asked you, does it bother you when I call you Matt?
Not really. I
Okay.
mean,
I
it
know
is what it is.
I know we were talking about it, and it didn't even dawn on me that I just ended up doing it. I never asked you what you like being called, so um anyway, how's everything
Well,
been with you?
everything's been good. End of the year craziness was normal, but things are wrapping up nice. My wife got me a bunch of NECA gargoyles for Christmas, so that was pretty cool.
Those gargoyles are just so
I
good
got in
still.
my Hans Gruber falling from Nakatomi Tower before Christmas got here, so I got to see that. And we started watching Gremlins, but then my daughter wanted to watch it, so we have to wait till the weekend because she remembers that she actually likes that movie.
Can I say, after watching this movie, it dawned on me this is the perfect movie for in between because
Yep.
it takes place at Christmas and through the new year. And it really never even dawned on me. But it's not a Christmas movie because it does not take place around, it just happens to go through Christmas.
Yep.
They don't ski the
I,
K-12 on it.
I realized the exact same thing too, watching it this time as well. I said, you know what? This is actually a perfect movie to put here.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, because at first I was kind of like hoping, like, hopefully it's gonna, because he couldn't remember, and then I totally forgot the New Year's dance.
Yep.
But anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit. So, have you been watching any? Oh,
Yeah, but we also got to say what happy birthday, right? I mean, this is your
yes, yeah, my birthday eve. So tomorrow I'm the big 4/8. I'm sure we'll
yeah,
still be on when it hits.
yeah, probably.
Uh, yeah, future Shark Eyes has already sent me a happy birthday.
I saw that.
I wonder if it populates that it's my birthday because his.
He's a day ahead. Yeah,
Yeah, so I wonder if it populated because of that.
I
Isn't
think
that
so.
strange? That would explain why people have it where, like, people are saying happy birthday a day early, and you're like, when was the last time you even saw that person? Um, yeah, it's just another day, but it lands on a Friday, so we're gonna go skate. Uh,
Nice.
Actually, on my birthday, a few years ago, I skated into my birthday. So I wanted to be on the ramp going through it, and the guy that was filming, he started like this, and then he switched it. And I'm like, dude. I'm like, it ruined the whole thing. He's like, no one's gonna know. Like, if we do another run, I'm like, but it was the whole point of
Yeah, yeah.
it. But yeah, it's just another day at work. Um, but hey, you know what? I'm still here, right?
Yeah, still
So
kicking, still going.
it gets strange, not to bring down the stream, but when you start thinking about how many more years I've been here than than my mom was, that's when you get that. And my mom
Yeah.
wasn't old. I'm 48. I'm like, I've been here 10 years longer than my mom, and it's like, holy
Mm,
shit, like that's crazy to think about. So,
wow.
um, anyway, have you been watching anything?
Reacher. Reacher's been awesome. I've been
I
enjoying that.
I've not caught up on it. I watched, I want to say the first 3 episodes, 2 or 3 episodes, and then I haven't really turned on the TV to watch anything like that.
Yeah.
Watch a lot of Christmas movies and stuff. So
Yeah, we've been catching up on those, and then Percy Jackson started recently.
Olivia wanted to watch that. We watched was the first 2 episodes came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
So yeah, we just watched episode 3 tonight. Um, honestly, there's a lot of things I kind of like about it. I don't like some of the actor choices, and sometimes I like parts of the movie better, which is hard to say because I know they're going to go into a lot better stuff in this TV series. But the actress who's playing Artemis' daughter or whatever. I don't know. She doesn't fit the character very well, I don't think. But
Yeah. It was enjoyable. I mean, we watched the first 2 episodes, and she actually pointed it out. I love the fact that my daughter's like, "Hey, Percy Jackson's on." I'm like, "What do you?" And I mentioned them. She's like, "Let's watch Percy Jackson." I'm like, "All right, let's sit down and eat our food and watch these Disney shows or whatever show it is. It doesn't really matter, but
yeah,
um,
I saw Godzilla -1, but that was awesome. Uh, Fat Red Foo, I completely disagree with you. That movie's a waste of space, a waste of time, a waste of energy to watch. It's a rehash of a bunch of different movies. They say it's an original IP, but it's not. Totally ripped off from a whole bunch of other things.
yeah, I think it's I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I'm hearing like people really like it or people hate it. It kind of reminds me of the initial Valorverse line. It's either the greatest or it's awful.
Well, the people that tend to like it are also the people who like The Last Jedi. The people that don't like it are tending to be the people that didn't like The Last
Ooh,
Jedi.
wow.
There's some comparable things there, like bad storytelling, good visual effects.
Did you just insult Fatrid? That was mean, man.
I don't know. I don't know if well, you just insulted him by mispronouncing his name, but
Fatrid, since when do you care about what people like to be called? It doesn't. I don't really care. It was just when we were on the stream and I said that got brought up, and I brought up to Matthew, and I said, I always call you Matt, and you go, I know. That usually means that somebody has taken effect to it. And what's actually really funny about that is that my ex Susan, she hates being called Sue, and my dad always calls her Sue, and I don't think he does it on purpose.
yeah,
Even though I've told him numerous times that she doesn't like being called Sue, he always referred to her as Sue, and I don't think she ever got mad about it because she knew he wasn't doing it to be mean or because he didn't like her or anything.
yeah.
But I don't think I've ever heard anyone else ever refer to her as Sue. But and again, I'm like, Sue. I'm like, oh, that's the mother of my children. I can't really think of anything else that I've been watching. Like I said, it's been so busy. I mean,
Night Court just came back, and we've enjoyed the new version of Night Court, and so we watched an episode of that too. I'm a huge John Larroquette fan. I've liked him since Night Court, so that show's been fun to watch.
yeah, I saw a couple episodes of it. Is that on Peacock?
I believe so. It is an NBC show. I don't know where we watch it from.
If it's on Peacock exclusively, then I don't have Peacock. If it's one of those where you can still watch it because it's on NBC, then I'll probably catch up onto it once I sit back and get decorations taken down.
I believe it is on regular NBC. So,
and we did go see Olivia and I did go see Aquaman.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
It wasn't as bad funny as the first one.
Okay.
It wasn't good. I wouldn't
imagine it would be.
No. I mean, it tries to be a Marvel movie so bad. There's so many references to Thor. When I watched Screen Crush, they went over references that I didn't see. Going back to Black Panther and Thor. I mean, he literally calls his brother Loki at one point. It's.
Let me go switch my earbuds out. I think that sound thing's still happening. So
yeah.
Hold on a second.
But yeah, the comedy in it, it's not the greatest. You have one guy, Jason Momoa, who I feel is acting comedic, and then you have, Orem, the guy who plays Orem, right? Is that his name? He's like super serious, but it just doesn't work. Like when you see, Thor and Loki, it's so It's so seamless. I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but Olivia and I had to go see it because we watched the first one and it was so bad that it was good. We had so much fun laughing at it. I didn't get that same thing out of it, but there were a lot of really dumb parts. Um, I do like. I really did like Mantis. So I think that character, that actor, is awesome. I think the Mantis suit looks awesome. Can't even hear you. You're on mute. You gotta change your mute.
How's that? Does that sound better?
Yes.
Okay. I think the character of Mantis is awesome. I think that that whole that's kind of the only reason I wanted to see the movie was to see what Mantis was doing.
It's cool, but the whole story is like, oh my god! Like once again, like they just don't get it.
Mm.
It's that stupid. Uh, it's that stupid Zack Snyder trying to do his universe, and like the villain, you're just like, this doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you really see how bad of an actress Amanda Heard is. Although she does have some pretty funny parts. She does have some pretty funny parts. They tried to get her out of it as much as possible. Uh, there's
Yeah.
no doubt about that.
I heard she was in it way too much, and her name is Amber Turd for the rest of eternity. I'm just saying.
There was one, and I forget what it was. There was one part with the baby, and I think they were talking about like changing the diaper. Now, mind you, there was only I think 12 other people in the whole theater. So, and I lean over to Olivia and I go, it's not the only one that shits in the bed. And she's like, she broke down and started laughing. She's like, I was not expecting that. Like I just leaned over, and just said that. But I will say this: it's not as good as this movie. It's not as good as One Crazy Summer. I don't think any of the DC movies have been, to be honest.
Yeah, they're not heading in a good direction. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, this was again. This was the end of the Snyderverse, the end of that DCEU. I don't know what the hell they're calling it. Again, why? Just keep going with it. Like, have two different universes. No one gives a shit. Like, your movies already suck. So if you find one that works,
they know that the normal moviegoer, the normie, gets brand confusion when there's not a consecutive storyline, which is why there was some backlash against the Batman because it didn't fit in any of the universes, and people were like, well, what about Aquaman? Where are the other people? So the normies don't pay attention to that stuff, and that's fine, but you got to plan your budgets according to the market you're targeting. And when you're doing $200 million movies, you need something consistent so that the normie audience will be drawn in.
But it kind of reminds me of that. Was the Dark Phoenix, the last X-Men movie? Like, you could tell they all knew this is the end. No one really cared. No one wanted to be there. But if you don't show up, you're not getting that paycheck, right?
Well, what's her name didn't even bother showing up. I mean, she might have been in scenes, but she didn't show up to do anything.
You mean Jennifer Lawrence?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she is like the first Hollywood female
action star.
Hero.
Yep.
I mean, it was good to know. Like, Sigourney Weaver feels like she paved the way for her in Aliens. Sarah Connor was like, "Thank you."
I loved all the memes after that. That was so hilarious.
Oh, like honestly, like that was so good. There have been a few times that the memes have been awesome. This is not a political statement, I'm going to say, but when Obama left office, all the memes about Joe Biden not realizing that he's got to move out, that he's no longer president, I'm like, that's the best thing that guy did for us for 8 years. Like the best thing he gave us were the memes of him leaving. How could we have known that it could get better only 4 years later? It
is the meme-tastic world we live in.
Yes. And believe me, the other guy He has his own memes. He has his own gifts. So I'm not picking on one or the other.
I love the
Funny,
Donald Duck one.
which was a Donald Duck one.
You take Donald Duck's head, you flip it upside down.
Oh yes, yes. Oh okay. Yep. I still think one of my favorite ones was um, the gun at the top of the stairs, and it says "Come try and take my guns." It was right after he tripped going up the stairs. Again,
All right.
as Tony Stark said, funny things.
Funny things.
You think everything's funny, don't you? Funny things.
Things that
So.
make you go,
Yes. Things that make you look at two people and go, "These were the best people to run this whole world, the whole country. These were the two best people." And then someone goes, "Oh, but you remember last time we let Hillary run too?" And you went, "Motherfucker."
Politics is all about failing to the top.
You know what? That is the best way to put it. Failing to the top. So, but let's get off politics, or lack thereof politics. Let's see. Down South has joined us. He's obviously laughing at the memes.
Yep. Yeah, it was good talking with you the other night in the chat. I forgot what stream it was, but Down South and I had some good back and forth. It was fun.
Hey, you know, on any stream that we do, again, I was on a Toy Kind of Mood last night with Bees Battleground, obviously, a Punk with Toys, Tony Figs, and Baldy, and we had a blast. I mean, honestly, really did have a good time. So many people showed up. I could see that there was a lot of people from our stream that showed up there. A lot of people that I didn't know. I probably upset some people, alienated people that now will never come over to my show. Sorry, Duke should die. But hey, you know what? That's just me talking, right? Anyway, let's get on to this movie because
this movie's so much fun.
Yes, I had a good time, and I was talking to Matthew earlier. I watched One Crazy Summer right after because Andrew, my son, just happened to walk in right after, and we watched One Crazy Summer after, and I knew that there was crossover characters, but I was surprised at what characters they kind of were, and these two movies go hand in hand.
Yeah, they really do.
They really should.
And it makes it a trilogy if you put in Grosse Pointe Blank at the end of it.
I have never seen Grosse Pointe Blank.
Oh, you need to watch Grosse Pointe Blank because it really is the end of the John Cusack 80s movie tropes.
And you know what the worst part about that is? It was filmed right down the street.
you know what the movie's about?
Grosse Pointe.
Well, so
I have no idea.
The character John Cusack, whatever his name is, left high school. I forget whether he graduated or not. Maybe he graduated and never went to college, joined the military, got really good at shooting and killing people, became an assassin. And then he goes back for his 20-year high school reunion and finds the girl that he loved in high school is the DJ at the radio station. And he's trying to hook up with her. And they go to the high school reunion and he's breaking a contract because he got a contract to kill her father. And he's like, well, I can't kill her father if I'm trying to get back with her. And so then he has to fight off all the other assassins that are coming to kill the father. But it's all around the high school reunion.
I can honestly say that, like, not one time did you say that I was like, oh, I've heard that plot before. Nope, I've never, ever seen that at all. Never heard that. And again, it was filmed right down the street. So I guess I'll have to put that on the to-do list to watch because I feel that's something you can watch in 2 hours and just be done.
No, it's fun. I really like that one. And High Fidelity is another one with Jack Black. That was cool.
I've never seen that either.
Runs a record store with Jack Black and making mixtapes for his girlfriend.
Okay. Speaking of Jack Black, Andrew wanted to watch Anchorman.
Oh yeah.
He didn't think Anchorman was all that. Well, he didn't think it was that funny. I don't think he got all the 70s references, but when he kicks Baxter off the bridge is absolutely awesome. Uh,
All right, down south. That's awesome. Then you're gonna be right here with us when we're chatting about it. It's great.
all right, so let's do this here. So the beginning starts with some really cool animation.
Savage Steve Holland, man, he did those animations.
I laughed when I saw that name. I'm like, wow, I've never even seen that name before. Even though I've watched it 100 times, you're not you're not watching for that, but just the name, it makes it seem like a pro wrestler or something. But they do go through it all, and I always laughed. Even now, I laughed today, or not today, when I watched this, when the horse was scared to jump over the gap, and it's like, dude, it's like the length of you.
Yeah, right.
It's not that far. But we get right into the movie, and
Yeah. So,
well, then go ahead because I got to grab my notes.
yeah, I was just looking at that and saying that Herman Zimmerman was the production designer on this. He's done a bunch of things, and no, it's not Hans Zimmerman, not the musician guy. Um, Curtis Armstrong's in it, and the only first thing I think of when I see Curtis Armstrong is Booger. And then we've got
That his name?
the Curtis Armstrong.
I would have no idea what his name was.
And then this guy, I can't think of his actual name. I just call him Chosen because he was from the Karate Kid and Revenge of the Nerds, and he's in this one as one of the racers who only speaks Howard Cosell.
Which when we get, we'll talk about that when we get there because I still think that is brilliant. I think that is so brilliant.
Yeah.
But I love
he will always be Booger.
Yes. I didn't know his name. Like you told me, I'm like, no. You tell me Booger is in the movie, I know exactly like who you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you can't tell me that. Like, he's Booger. Like that's. But the Beth obsession is awesome.
Oh man, yeah, he's clearly totally obsessed with everything from the coat hangers to all the pictures. So obsessed that he gets in the shower with his socks on.
And I was looking at all the pictures, and I thought, and the first thing that I thought was, did they take all these pictures of her, or did they say we just need a bunch of pictures of you? Because there's a lot of duplicates throughout it.
Oh,
which I think is actually brilliant because you think back in the day you didn't you didn't have that many pictures. You just got them developed, and you might say get two. But all the different pictures, him sleeping with,
yeah, right there with it. Yeah, no, that's nuts. The goggles and then the picture,
and then we wake up to the paper boy.
And the dad, well, that you see the dad, Winchester, Major Winchester from MASH. He hears the playing cards and the tires, and he starts waking up and then he starts freaking out because he knows what he's got to do. He's got to run down there and protect his garage.
And all that I could think about when he's like hearing it and he wakes up was like, this guy is like so worried about this happening. And the poor guy from Commando just wanted to get his garbage out.
Right. Life is simple, man.
Why couldn't someone just throw a paper at him, you know? But yeah, so he goes running out. I couldn't find any other pictures. He throws it at it, and he's able to get it to move up. And as an adult, I'm watching it, and I'm going, why didn't he just stand in front of it?
It's like you could have just whacked it out of the air and stopped the whole thing from happening. I mean, you were right there.
And you're a pretty tall guy.
Yeah. Well, and this is also the very beginning of the automated garage door openers because he had to go out and unlock the box to hit the thing to go up. There's no remote for it. So it's really old school.
And you got the key in there, and and then when it comes crashing down, it just breaks all the windows.
Because the garage door just falls.
And this was Paperboy. I mean, the game Paperboy, when you would throw and try and break the windows or, everything like that. So, and then we go back to him, and to this day, I get a sick and uneasy feeling looking at the boiled bacon.
Oh no, yeah, no. Everything that she makes is green and covered in mold or fuzz or something. I'm
But
like, the oh no, that makes
but
me sick.
this always bothered me the most. It's I don't know what it was because first off, even if you boil bacon, why is it green?
It doesn't turn green. I mean, it may turn gray sometimes, but it never turns green.
Yeah, and the fact that you see him even contemplating eating it, and then he's like, "Screw it, we're just gonna get the cereal." Uh,
Well, and then you've got the brother who I don't believe says a single line the entire movie.
I don't think so either.
I mean, he does everything through actions, and also I'm also curious as to why none of those cereal boxes have the plastic
I,
bag insert.
I thought the exact same thing. Like, where is the plastic insert? Because that's how you were able to get the toy out. You pulled the bag out, and then you could never get the bag back in because it was this wide, and the box was only like this.
Right?
Um,
Exactly.
but yeah, but we did kind of we quickly mentioned him getting in the shower with the socks.
And now he's blow drying the socks.
Yes, and the mom isn't even. She's not even phased about anything until he says he's obsessed with that girl.
Yeah.
And I can't think of the kid's name. I have it written down.
The brother? I just call
Yeah,
him the brother.
yeah. Something weird.
I had it written down once, but honestly, I couldn't ever remember it, so I just call him the brother.
This is awesome. I want this in my room. All right, I want this on all my hangers.
I want that
like,
closet.
well, okay, yeah. It's like the size of my GI Joe room.
I was gonna say that's the size of a room in my house.
I want this so the next time I start dating a girl and she opens my closet and she's like, "What the? Oh, I'm sorry." And the crazy thing is, my first girlfriend's name was Beth. So
Oh,
looks nothing like this. Was not blonde. Nothing like this. But it is kind of Badger. That's it, Badger. I had Patrick down. I thought he said Patrick, and then as the movie went on, I didn't really hear, and then as I was looking at things, it came up as Badger.
I believe it was only referenced one time in the whole movie.
He says something about he calls him Badger when he is asking about the ray gun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right when he shoots. Yeah.
So as he leaves, so as he's going to leave, and he has everything.
Oh well. Mom mentions that Lane and Beth are going up to Mount Broly for the tryouts for the high school ski team. So they've got a high school ski team. That's interesting.
In California.
In California.
And the dad tries to talk to him, and the line of the closet door can close as well as it can open. So, and I'm just thinking, oh my God, how many times have I said something very similar in this house? Then he comes up behind him, smashes him in the ass with,
sticks the skis right up his butt.
And it's hard not to see that guy as just the guy that everyone picked on in MASH.
Yeah, right.
Even though if I remember correctly, he ranked higher than the other ones.
Yeah, well, he was a major. The other guys were captains. Yeah. So he ranked higher than the other guys, but Winchester was more reasonable. Frank Burns was just a nut job.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But yeah, he tries to talk to him, says he can't eat. He gets nervous, and then we hear the first thing about the memo about the car that has said dormant on my lawn.
Yep, and he takes his skis and smashes all this stuff as he's talking about how he had to replace something for somebody else that he ruined.
He threw up off the chairlift. He had to buy the guy a new hat.
That's it. Yeah.
And we hear it twice. And then I don't have. I'm trying. Let's see here. I know that he talks to Beth. Oh no. Okay, so That comes after this.
Yeah, so we talked about the dead car, and then we see the girl next door was watching.
First time we see Monique.
Yeah, the exchange student, um, and then we learn that she's the French exchange student, and now we get the station wagon and the racers.
And he pulls up well past the light. Now, I very seldom do I actually back up if I'm too far up, especially if no one else is around.
Right.
But he backs up, forgets to put it in drive. Now, why these guys feel like they want to race him in this station wagon, I don't understand, or why he feels he needs to race them. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
say
don't
it's
understand.
never gonna win.
I don't understand the motivation other than it's a teenage machismo challenge thing. I don't know.
But only Chosen talks. And it really would have been cool if he would have talked like this. What if this is how he would have talked in Karate Kid 2?
What's funny is because if you actually hear him talk, he has a type of a radio announcer's a voice. So his voice is really normal. So he could pull off that Howard Cosell pretty easy.
But the race, the driver, we never hear him talk, and I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else.
I've seen him in a couple of things, I think, but nothing outstanding.
Nothing that stands up.
Yeah.
So he backs up. We don't know the backstory. We just hear Howard Cosell's voice.
Yeah, we're like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, and
I love it when they get to the backstory, though.
Yeah, the light turns green, and Lane goes backwards into what will eventually be his boss, and the guy flips out. As I would.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he sees this punk kid doing this, and you see this nasty looking greaser guy smoking a cigar, getting out. You think he's a tow truck driver or something. And so this is the first time it happens, and this is the only context we get from it. Every time they interact, it provides a little more context.
Yes. But we never see how he really gets away. But
oh yeah, but clearly he does. I mean, obviously, whatever. And then we jump to Beth next.
Yes.
As she's swapping out pictures in her picture frame.
And he hasn't even asked her out. Stalin hasn't even asked her out yet.
Nope.
But she has a full 8x10 of him, and she's getting rid of Lane's. Did you have 8x10s of any of your girlfriends from ever?
One, because we went to prom together. I guess that was the only one.
It was you two together then, not
right.
Headshot.
Right.
I think she just throws it in. Well, of course I'm going to go out with him if you ask me out. He skis the K-12.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. He's K-12. She doesn't say he skis the K-12. She just says he's K-12.
Wow, you've never seen this. Man, okay, I know I miss a lot of movies. Todd, you need to see this movie. If you like dumb comedy, you will like this. There's no doubt about it.
If you like stuff from the 80s, John Cusack, I like quite a bit of his body of work that he's done.
He's done a lot of good stuff.
This is the beginning of it, really. Is this and One Crazy Summer, and he plays that awkward teenage high school kid.
And as an actor, he's shown that he can play that dumb comedy and also play serious roles.
Yep, absolutely, yeah.
So, anyway.
And the trash can that Beth throws the picture in, my sister had that exact same trash can.
We kind of get the dad pulling out all the cereal, just getting so aggravated.
Well, no, right after that, after Beth's talk, they go to the mountain and we watch Ted shred the mountain.
Okay. So he skis it. He skis it first.
Yep. We get to see Ted in action, right? Yes. So we get to see how impressive he is skiing down the mountain.
Fake Ted.
Yeah.
Fake Ted McGinley.
Yes, fake Ted McGinley. And then we get Charles DeMar and talking about Beth, giving some of the backstory as to what's going on with everybody. that Ted's the only man to drop the K-12 and live.
And live. Yes.
So Ted's, I mean, Charles Booger is giving the backstory here for who Ted is in front of Lane and Beth.
Didn't we have another fake Ted in one of our other movies?
Yes, I think we did.
What movie? Hey, that's driving me nuts.
I can't remember what it was, but I remember we've had a similar conversation. Isn't that supposed to be Ted McGinnis?
So I'm sitting here like, do we have deja vu? I'm like, wait a minute. I know we had another fake, and I want to say it was fake Ted McGinley.
I'm feeling the same thing.
Now you go back now and look at the movies and see what we did.
Because he was in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, I mean, he was the guy in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, but I swear we had fake.
I think we had another fake Ted somewhere.
So yeah, when he comes up with who liked to hold my clipboard, and they're all
that was awesome.
Now these are actual like gifts, but when you put them in PowerPoint and put them on StreamYard, they don't care.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah, no, it was
Charles DeMar.
Not you. I'm talking to you. Well, and you know what? And he's never called Chuck or Charlie or Charles. It's always Charles DeMar.
Yes.
He is always Charles DeMar whenever they say his name.
And we're all like, you mean Booger?
You mean Booger? I mean, he totally acts like Booger in this with the stuff that he does. But and then we find out this guy's name is Roy Stalin.
Yeah, that wasn't lost on me. So Beth ends up, holding the clipboard.
Yeah, we get this innuendo for machismo competition stuff as Roy is kind of challenging everyone, including Lane, because he knows that Lane was the last person to be Beth's boyfriend.
And when he pushes them, and they all fall down. Now, I've never skied before, but I know how ski boots are. And snowboard boots, even though they were softer, they have the same thing where you kind of lean forward. But you watch skiers when they fall, like there's nothing you can do.
Nothing.
And the way they all went down, it was honestly so natural. Yep. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. I love how he brings up Lane Meyer, Oscar Meyer. Is he your main wiener man?
Which is something you would say in high school, even though these guys all look like they are about to graduate college.
Yeah, definitely.
We haven't got here, Collector, but yes, I think we all had that, along with a butterfly one.
Yeah. Yes. That comes up later.
Yeah, he does the timing and way off.
Yeah. So Lane drops in and he's doing really well with the whole thing. And I timed it. He waited a full 3 seconds to stop the stopwatch after he had crossed the line that we saw on camera. So we know for a fact that he made the cutoff time.
Yeah, and you would think that he would want to have the best skiers on the ski team.
It's a machismo competition thing for the girl. He's trying to impress the girl. He doesn't want to say that there's any credibility to this guy. This guy has no cred left.
Yeah.
And so Beth breaks up with him for somebody more popular, better looking, nicer car.
I love the fact that she lays it all out. Like there's there's no like fluff to it whatsoever. He's popular. Did you think I was gonna spend my high school years with you? Like she just like, I see why he went home and did what he wanted to do. Like she just crushed him in every way possible.
Just ground him down.
Fat Trid, because I'm a skateboarder, so I snowboarded. That's why. Remember those signs? Beware skiers don't care. Oh no, it said beware ski with care, but we said skiers don't care because they really don't. We were snowboarding before anyone, only a few places would allow you to.
You know
That's
why?
why.
Do you know why that they were hesitant to let snowboarders in?
Because we're way cooler.
Because you didn't care. You always got in the way of us skiers and causing hassle because you're falling on your ass all the time.
I watch skiers. They can't stop.
They can.
Funny story about that is we used to have one parent would take us and another parent would come pick us up. It was like an hour away. And the first time my dad did, he's like, I'll just wait there. He waited in the ski lodge. The second time, he's like, I'm gonna learn how to ski. And my buddy, he's like, I think it was like maybe the second time my dad went. He never got good, right? And my buddy Doug was like, hey, have you seen your dad skiing? I'm like, no. He's like, he's not that bad. Like, I was on like the smallest run. He doesn't know how to stop. So like we were going down and it's a slow run and it goes right into the parking lot. And if there's fences where there's some openings, and he's like, yeah, he just aimed himself so he would go right into the flat and then go right through the fences into the parking lot because he didn't know how to stop.
Here's one of my favorite ski stories. I'm about 4 years old and they wouldn't let me have ski poles at the time. So I like, okay, let's do this. And I point my way and I rocket down the mountain. And man, I think I'm breaking the sound barrier or something because I can't hear nothing. And all of a sudden my dad pops up next to me and bumps me and then keeps going and like makes me crash and burn. I'm like, what the hell, Dad? Why'd you make me crash and burn? He says, I was afraid you're going to fly off the side of the mountain, kid.
So totally off the subject. But since you brought up not skiing as a kid with poles, because I never skied, I never understood why kids start off not skiing with poles. I understand why they don't, but why would anyone go to poles once you learn how to do it? Why would you go to poles? It never made sense to me.
Well, two reasons. One, to check the depth of the snow in a new area before you go down to see if there's a big drop off or if it's going to give away on you.
We didn't do that as snowboarders.
Yeah, I know. And also because it can provide little points of stability or help you turn by sticking it in the snow, and you can make it a pivot point that you can turn around.
Okay. Well, we as snowboarders didn't do that. You
just fell down.
We just went. But I guess I assume you would have said, in case you end up on one skiing the K-12, you're going to need those poles to pass.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So anyway, she dumps him, and then he's just miserable, and he ends up in.
There we go.
Another race,
and he's putting on the broken dish gloves and the goggles, and he's ready to go this time, and he's not going to be caught going in reverse. But somehow he doesn't realize that there's a truck right in front of him.
Yes, and again, still no backstory on this yet.
Nothing.
We still have no backstory on this. We don't know why Howard Cosell is there in the car with them, but he looks Asian.
Yeah, it's a little strange. But we do get context to the greaser guy because now he's got the Pig Burgers logo on his truck.
But how he doesn't see it in front of him, maybe because he has goggles on that are blacked out. I don't know.
They do look like blackout goggles.
Yeah. So it's the same guy. So 2 days in a row, or I'm sorry, same day, within hours, he hits this guy.
He hit him in the front and he hit him in the back. So he smashed up both sides of the man's vehicle.
Damn dish gloves and welding goggles, and hits Porky again.
What's funny about the dish gloves too is that they had no fingertips on them, so he just put his hands right through, busted out the fingertips on them.
So I think I'm in order, right?
He comes home mopey. Mom's vacuuming. Beth broke up with him, and she's like, "Oh, that's nice, dear." And then he tries to hang himself.
He tries to self-delete.
and then he's like, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? And mom backs in, opens the door, and then he's like, ah, as he's sitting there, as he's trying not to do that, but then it ends up almost happening.
There it is.
There you go.
So he tries to self-delete, and he realizes it's stupid.
Yeah.
And again, this is just the beginning of him trying to self-delete, which he keeps failing at.
Yeah. And then he's like, he decides he wants to ski the K-12, and then he's like, but that equals suicide. And then he goes back to, then we get to mom's cooking the green gloop with raisins that she got out of a cookbook and made up some of the other ingredients.
Yeah, because some of the pages were missing.
Yeah, they got wet and it smeared.
Yeah. And you like raisins.
Yeah, you like raisins, so that's okay, right?
So this is where we get to talk about the car, if I'm correct, right? Let me look here.
Well, this is the next time. Yeah, this is the second time the car's brought up because Dad brought it up earlier, saying that piece of junk. And this is where he's like, we got to have a sit down and talk about this car.
And he said, he said, it was a crisp September day. And you asked if you borrowed $200 to buy this car. And if I remember correctly, it was because Beth said it was tasty. Which was tasty something we used back then?
Well, I remember in the 90s, Big Tasty, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean that was Bud's character, right?
He has Buzzer's glasses.
The ones that don't fit.
So he makes him sit down, and then he's poking at the food, and then it slowly moves off the plate. And even as a kid, I laughed so hard every time I saw this because I'm like, what is that for real? Like,
right?
It looks like it's slime, but it doesn't move when it comes off of the plate.
Right.
Just
honestly, it reminded me of an experiment I did in school with some form of gelatin and electricity. I mean,
it's got raisins.
It's got raisins, and you can see the chunks of raisins in there that look like bugs inside the green slime.
it's definitely not tasty. Beth was not talking about his mom's meals. That's
that's for sure. Then we get the new exchange student. We get to see the exchange student at the house with the creepy mom and the creepy kid. Basically, everybody understands it's the only way that kid's getting even to see a real girl. Ricky, yeah. So, Dad's talking about it. That's right. The new exchange student. Only way that boy could seeing a real girl.
Ricky.
Yeah. And then we get the brother building the laser gun.
Yes, and he goes, I don't understand why you're playing with all this kid stuff. You're almost 8.
Oh, that picture's so small. Do you see the point dread back there?
No.
On his shelf in the background, there's a point dread. And I just saw a dozen point dreads on clearance at Target today.
Yeah, don't remind me how I bought that and I didn't realize it was gonna be a retail release.
Oh,
I don't see it.
That picture's so small, but it's on the shelf. There's something kind of to the left of it, but it's the main thing on that shelf in the middle there.
This is actually a GIF. Yeah,
that's why.
I do have a picture of Christmas morning, so
with your flag.
No, from this.
Okay.
I wish. So this is when you see that the laser actually works. He shoots the box there.
Well, his brother's giving him crap about building it, and to shut his brother up, he decides to turn around and shoot the laser gun.
Which is absolutely awesome.
Right?
So then we get him remembering how him and Beth met.
But we also find out that his brother's 8.
Yes.
He's supposedly 8, and he's building this. When are you going to be done with all this kid stuff? And he shoots the laser.
Yeah, you're almost 8. I'd say almost 8 or he's 8 now, something like that.
Almost 8, I think.
So he's not even 8.
And now we go back to the obsessive flashback memory of how they met.
Which, let's be honest, when we do get dumped by our first couple girlfriends, like we do like think of like all this stupid ass stuff.
Yeah.
But the fact that he goes running and just like lands like right in the middle of these people just having a picnic. I don't know about you, but if I was doing this and I was a kid, someone ran into our stuff, my dad would have stood up and been like, he would not have just looked at him.
Well, if you look, they look Hispanic and they're eating tacos, and he stepped all over their tacos, so they may not have wanted to start a scene where anybody might be called. I don't know.
Was Donald Trump in office at this point?
No, Reagan.
Oh, Reagan. So I do love this part. He sits down with Beth.
A Diet Coke and a tab on the table.
Yep.
Tab.
And they start talking to this girl. And what's actually kind of ironic is the girl next to Beth is actually like, she seems interested in Booger there.
Yeah.
And as they're going back and forth,
I love this part.
She rubs her nose, and it instantly.
This is the perfect teenage thought process. That's
this
written
is an
out.
adult. This is an adult process. You see someone do this, and you're like, "Oh man,
is it me? Is it me?"
But the way they're going back and forth, they didn't do it too long. They did it just the right amount. They didn't drag on, and it's funny because neither one of them has anything.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
it was just a nervous thing.
I feel like most movies they would have made one of them have something on. Where this was just like she just happened to wipe her nose, and he's like, "Oh man." And you get both their thought process, which I thought was brilliant, honestly. So.
No, that whole back and forth in the thought process. I agree. That's awesome. And then we go to Lane trying to make himself some cereal, feed the cat, but he's spilling the cat food all over, and then he pours himself a big bowl of cat food with milk.
The fact that they were able to get a cat to actually act, I mean, dogs is one thing, but cats, man, no way, you know? But yeah, so they just kind of walk right up to it. And then he just starts pouring the milk in the cat food, which, oh, God, it's so... Which goes back to our last movie where they have the cat food in the Jell-O.
In the green Jell-O. The green Jell-O should have moved off the plate.
Yeah. Maybe these are in the same universe.
Yeah, maybe. Next door to the Griswolds.
Honestly, the green Jell-O is still more disgusting. Why is that? I know it's a different movie, but why is it this? Maybe because the cat food, obviously they had to actually put it in the Jell-O. It expanded a little bit. Why does it look so damn disgusting?
So gross. So gross.
And this is where we find Johnny, who shows up at the door. And now why he's after Lane and not his dad?
I don't understand that either. It's like, the dad's the one with the money, right?
And until this moment, wouldn't this be like the last, and this is the first time I've ever thought about this, wouldn't this be the last place you would show up to collect since you've been breaking all these windows?
Well, and I don't understand why that's not his response. Is like, you owe us for all those windows you broke. I mean, that's what my response would be. Is like, you owe us $50 for all those windows you broke.
He's like, 2 weeks. He runs through everything. He's like, $2.
You owe $2.
Cash. And yes, he was right. We all had to have this switchblade.
Yeah. And Lane's funny because he comes up with all these lame story excuses about, his brother's health and his mom, and, everybody's got issues.
Yeah, this is like, why didn't he just go get $2 from somewhere in the house? Even back then, $2 wasn't that hard to find.
I mean, I found it all the time to buy my GI Joes. So
The figure six pack, really. I mean, you're onto something. Like, why didn't they just go back there and be like, here's $2 in quarters, some dimes. But his excuse of his grandmother hijacking a bus full of penguins or something like that.
No, it's just funny.
Everything through this, I mean, again, you watch it and you're like, how many times do they have to repeat this throughout their life? You know, this kid has heard it. He hasn't done very much because I looked him up in IMDb. He has not done very much in his life, acting wise. I don't say his life. He might be very successful in other, but acting wise, he hasn't done very much. I would still carry that comb everywhere I go.
Absolutely.
And that's just me.
I mean, I'm sure he's saying, I want my $2. Like, yeah. he'll pay for $18 something with a $20 bill. I want my $2.
Cash.
And then the most riveting geometry class ever. Everybody is so focused on this crazy teacher spouting off his stuff, and everybody's understanding it, and everybody's got their homework except for Lane.
And everyone is excited to have.
So excited.
I have never once been in a class that everyone was as excited as this class, with one of the boringest teachers. So
I love this actor. He's been in so many crazy roles, playing aliens and everything else. He's awesome. So him playing this role and getting everybody excited about it is even funnier.
He looks like an alien. Let's be honest.
Well, obviously.
I love him adding cash, especially back then. Like, and we do find out later on he did have a checkbook. He could have just wrote a check. Well, I guess he said cash. So
he said cash.
Yeah. So he asked the question. Everyone is so excited.
Well, he asked everybody to pull out their homework first, and everybody pulls out these file folders and spreadsheets and computer printouts, and Lane's pulling out his wadded up piece of paper with gum on it and says, "Do your homework."
What I loved about it is it was all different stuff. It wasn't like everyone pulled out the exact same thing. Like they just said, "Hey, run up to Kmart and get a bunch of these." Yeah, everything was different. Everything was very unique. The one like accordion folder
that's awesome.
that pulls out the old, like you said, the old computer paper, and even Charles DeMar, even he's into this.
To a lesser degree. I mean, he didn't have all the accoutrement as everyone else, but
look, he has his hand up right there.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, this is when he's asking him to come up and solve a problem. And Lane's trying to hold a piece of paper up and hide his face
with gum.
And Lane, I'll pick you.
He gets up there, and I stretch every time he uses that. Is it a protractor? The giant.
Yeah.
Like he's like, why don't you just like? Even as a kid, I'm like, why don't you just take the piece of chalk off?
Yep.
But he's like. And the noise wasn't even that bad. Like when I heard it, I'm like, we've heard way worse.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that they turned around and everyone's hair was sticking straight up.
Well, because we've all heard the other noise on a chalkboard before. Yes.
And it is an awful noise. There's no doubt about that. There is an awful noise that can come from chalk on a chalkboard. And as he's up there, he starts thinking about his first time with her, who's right next to him.
Hey, right.
And of course, the fact that like the tires are getting stolen. Then he talks about it breaking. Which is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah. No, that's.
And again, here's it's just the first time you really find out that he's good with art.
Yeah, I believe so, because we haven't seen him draw anything as of yet. We haven't seen him doodle or daydream with that yet, but no, yeah.
But I got looking at this for the first time. On a still, they clearly used a protractor for the head, for the body.
Yep.
The arms look like they were also used with the protractor.
It does.
It looks like it's just a perfect moon. He obviously was using a ruler or a yardstick somewhere. And the baby. Like no one saw him doing this, like until like he blurts out in his daydream. Oh man, this is so damn good. And then
we get Charles trying to help him, giving him suggestions about things he could do. 1, you could take up the sax again. 2, you could ski the K-12, trying to get back at Roy.
But we missed the teacher asking.
After that, then the teacher.
Oh, was it after that?
It was after that.
Okay.
Charles gives him some of that advice, and then as they're talking, the teacher comes up and says, "Hey, could you stay back for a second?" Takes him aside to have that awkward conversation.
Even back then, it seemed wrong.
Oh yes. Would you mind if I took? I've heard some things. Would you mind if I took Beth out? And now I don't really know if this is like a delusion in his head because it happens so frequently. I wonder if it's just him imagining that everybody's doing this.
When it comes to the mailman, that's what I was thinking too. Barney does it, which we'll get into a little later. So here we see Monique and Ricky, and he's slurping his Jell-O through the straw, and you can tell she's just disgusted with the tab and Hershey's chocolate milk. Oh my god, I forgot about that chocolate milk. And I don't know where I had the picture, but I couldn't find it again. It moves over, and then you see Charles
snorting up the green Jell-O.
No raisins in it though, so
no raisins, so you're good.
And then we see him drawing, and in his mind, he's drawing it. And then she's like, yeah, I could have anyone in this school that I wanted. And then he looks up at, I forget what her name is.
Yeah. So Chris comes in as Roy
Chris
has
Clemens.
Roy's got his court coming in. He's drawing, and then the Chris comes in, and the entire basketball team comes with her, and he's like, all these big guys, and then they start saying, maybe I could date her, and his buddy's like, she dates the basketball team, right? Like the entire basketball team.
So I never pictured basketball players as being grunts like they did it here.
Yeah, I know.
Thought of football players,
right?
But none of them say anything. They're all, and she's on roller skates. Chris Clemens is on roller skates for absolutely no reason in her cheerleading outfit.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just a kink of hers that she liked to skate around all the time or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. But it gives Lane an idea. So he goes over to the gay guy and steals his skate. Well,
who just happens to have skates on
the table.
And they fit him.
And they fit him. And so he just gave him some money to put so he could take the skate. So he bribed him. I don't know. He gave him money for the skate. So he didn't steal them, but
and then he makes some gay reference towards him.
Did he? I don't
I forget. He makes some gay reference towards him, not in like a bad way, but a total gay reference. Tell him to go buy a new blouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that would. Here, go buy a new blouse.
So he skates over there, smashes into her.
Oh yeah,
I didn't realize the kid behind him is wearing the same racing goggles as he was earlier.
And you might recognize him from some other cheesy movies, but
what else was he in?
Oh, I forget. But if you he plays a nerd or a dork in a couple movies, and a biker extra in some other stuff.
Okay. Now, the thing I didn't understand was he's just trying to ask Chris out,
Yep.
and then she just says, "You're a jerk," which I didn't understand. Why is he a jerk? Because he got dumped by Beth. I mean, I was confused on why he was a jerk.
There
Now,
could be a there could be a lot of reasons why she would say that, because
yeah,
I'm sure they've gone through high school together or even elementary school. Maybe she had an opinion of him very early on. Who knows?
really popular people having an opinion of lower people.
Of
Shock.
course. I mean, maybe she knows he showers with his socks on. I don't
But that's not a jerk. That's just like
know.
you're weird. Um, so she skates away. Once again, we can see he can't really skate. Comes up behind her, and
He said, he's trying to hit on her. He's like, you skate, I skate, maybe we can skate.
um, and people talk about some of the most paused parts in movies. Let's be honest. This movie, every single teenage kid and almost 48-year-old pause this. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, Lane's coming out there and he just falls down. I mean, he just fell down. I mean, he just had to hold on to something. That was the only thing there, and all of a sudden, her clothes just came all the way off. I mean,
Right down. And she's wearing like this perfect set of panties and bras. And then the basketball team is right there.
oh yeah,
And clearly they beat him up, which they
clearly.
don't show, but he clearly gets beat up. Uh,
Teen Wolf, that the guy that was behind Lane in line there, he was one of the guys in Teen Wolf.
oh, really?
One of the fat basketball player in Teen Wolf. But
It's been a
anyway, sorry.
long time since I've seen Teen Wolf. A long time. That was before Michael J. Fox shook. Anyway,
Actually, no. But anyway, that's another story.
oh, it was before people knew he shook. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
You are right. Yeah. And I can make jokes because he makes jokes about it.
Yeah.
So now we see the next self-deleting that he wants to do. And Booger is not, I mean, he doesn't want him to.
No.
I wouldn't say he's the most helpful person when it comes to it. He doesn't give a lot of words of encouragement.
Oh, wait. Right before that, he's getting car and he sees the geometry teacher driving Beth home in his convertible VW.
Which I also found weird. Not only would she be driving home with him, but she's now dating Roy.
Again, why I think it's part of his delusion, his hallucinations that he has.
I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely kind of with you on that. And I've always thought that, especially because of the Barney thing.
Yeah. Well, that clearly that's kind of sets it off. And if you look back at it, you could put those things together probably.
Yeah. So here he is,
And this is a total It's a Wonderful Life moment, right? This is the angel coming up to talk to Jimmy Stewart on the bridge as he's trying to commit suicide and trying to convince him not to commit suicide as he's getting ready to throw himself over the edge. But it's Booger and Lane, so things go awry.
I believe, is this when he tells him that, or did he tell him already that suicide is never the answer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think this is when he says, "Cheer up, Buckaroo," something like that, and then he pats him on the back
and knocks him off the bridge.
Yes.
Right into a trash truck. And you have one of the funniest lines of the whole movie that is
one of the funniest lines of the 80s.
Of the 80s, yes.
Now that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that. Now, do you guys realize who this guy is?
Is that it's not Tim Fields, is it?
It is the captain in 21 Jump Street.
It is Tim Fields.
Is that his name? I don't know his name. He's the captain in 21 Jump Street.
Nice. Yeah, you know, it is. Yeah.
But this line is so good. It's not racist.
No.
It's just told by black, by a couple, well, one black guy to the other one. And it's said so matter of factly.
Yep.
It's not meant to have like a Spaceballs, like, we ain't found shit. It's just, now that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that. And then the other guy laughs.
Oh,
Lane looks up at him, and they just move on. But I remember seeing this, and when I first saw 21 Jump Street, I'm like, that guy's in Better Off Dead.
Stephen Williams. Sorry, not Tim Fields. Sorry. Different.
I would not have known that. But yeah, I think this is awesome.
And here we go. Pure snow. And it's everywhere. Do you know the street value of this?
As
he's just looking to get high.
Fatra, this is for you, because here in Michigan, especially when we go snowboarding, we probably use this line so many times. Do you know what the street value of this is? I can't feel the whole left side of my body. And he's moving it.
Yeah, he got a major brain freeze from snorting snow.
And so again, do you have any idea what the street value of this mountain is? But as a kid, I don't realize what cocaine is.
Yeah.
But you look at it now and it's like, all right. So this line I have given this line out so many times at the skate park when someone's trying to do something, especially to my buddy Tony, who I'll be seeing tomorrow. And we'll be like, all right, go that way really fast. If something gets in your way, turn. And they look, because most of them are younger, and Tony will be next to me, and they'll go to try the trick, and the moment they fall, I'll be like, now turn! And he's next to me going, shut up. But this is the type of coach you need.
Well, I mean, as we learned clearly, that's the same advice he gets later, too. And now we get what is this? Eggnog with lighter fluid.
Are we at that point yet?
It's Christmas Eve.
Oh, it is Christmas Eve already.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read my notes here.
And so we've got eggnog.
Yeah, how's it going?
Eggnog with lighter fluid. This is the line from Charles, right? He's like, dying when you're not really sick is really sick.
Yeah. So this is Christmas morning.
Well, so the speech that Charles gave Lane up on the mountain, that was Christmas Eve when they were on the mountain. And that's when he's like, it's Christmas Eve. We ought to be celebrating eggnog with lighter fluid. Dying when you're not really sick is really sick. That whole speech. And then we go, he goes down and he crashes and burns.
They get the now turn.
Yeah. Now turn. As he falls down the mountain. And then we get the dad with the new windows in the garage door. So he's got the new garage door all set up. Lane calls Beth on Christmas.
And throughout this, I want to say this. Beth is very cordial to him.
Yep.
She's never mean. Every time you see Roy do something, she looks very annoyed with Roy about it.
Well, and there's one in particular where she's like, you almost feel like she's done with it because she's embarrassed for both of them, or she's embarrassed herself because of the whole situation. So she isn't what everybody thinks she is.
No, she just dumps you because someone's more popular.
I mean, at least she was honest there, right?
Very honest. So he's looking at this little bear, and she said, "Oh my God, Roy gave me this giant bear. It's bigger than bigger than me."
Yep.
Which I love. I'm sorry, I love this shit.
Well, and then you don't remember how Lane gets off the phone with her?
He just drops the phone.
No, he says, I got to go. The Christmas tree's on fire, and throws the phone.
But he never hangs up.
No, he never hangs up.
He just drops the phone. All right, so I took this picture. It's Christmas morning.
We have the TV fireplace, and Mom's dressed up like a reindeer.
But look at the picture. We got Secret Wars.
Nice.
We got Mask in his hand.
Yep.
And again, he doesn't speak, but you know what? I wouldn't be speaking either because I'd be playing with those toys. Which again makes no sense that he's playing with toys and he's also building a rocket ship.
Shh, we don't know about that yet.
and now I just got a little Einstein's music in my head. I hate myself. You know it, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah. And Mom's giving out TV dinners.
So many TV dinners. And you know what? Listen, as a kid, I was so excited whenever I got the TV dinner that had the brownie in it.
Well, and she mentions it. She goes, I know you really like the brownie in this one.
And it had 4. Listen, if anyone, most of you guys got to be old enough, but anyone that's watching this that's younger that doesn't know what a TV dinner was like this, there was 4 compartments. There was always a dessert. They were in metal tins, so you had to cook them in the oven, and they all heated at different temperatures.
Yes,
and none of them. You could never get everything to be cooked right. But
never.
if you had the brownie, you wanted to make sure the brownie was cooked right. Didn't matter if everything else was ice cold. Just make sure the brownie was done properly. Yes, the reindeer costume.
And you know what else that the brother had as a Christmas gift in the background? A full-sized, life-sized Twiggy from Buck Rogers.
Yes.
I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, you see that to the side.
I got a kick out of that.
So here you see her helping put on the reindeer. I'm sorry, the
anteater, right? Aardvark.
The aardvark is made from real aardvark fur. You guys got to remember, they live in California. All right. And he's like, this is really warm.
Yeah, really warm. I think we missed the part where they jumped over to the Smiths, where they went to the creepy mom wanting her son to score with the imprisoned exchange student.
Nope.
Okay. Because that was right before.
It might be a little out of order, but
yeah.
So
yeah, they're opening up their presents, and she gets a picture of Ricky.
Yes. And it's the same picture that's right here.
And what's really creepy to me about that whole thing is how excited Ricky is about the munchie that he had. If you don't know what a munchie is, it's creepy as hell. I always thought they were creepy. They were these little monkey-looking things with human faces that had their thumbs that you could shove in their mouth.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everyone is going to be wearing these. So she opens up the picture. I didn't get a picture of her running out and laughing at it when she runs outside. When she gets to watch everything happen. And here again, third time that he is contemplating self-deleting.
Well, and Winchester's worried about that coat, and he's worried he's going to get shot wearing it.
But him sitting there going, "How come you're so small?" And I love the fact that he always, like, every time he rethinks this. So no matter what, he's always rethinking. Like, this is a dumb idea. Why am I doing this?
Yep.
But his whole, "How come you're so small?" And then
And
we get
then you get
the
the new
beautiful.
garage door. He fixed it. It's all brand new. Look at this. Isn't this awesome?
How did no one see this? Like did no one just go outside or look in the garage and see someone was there fixing the windows?
Whatever. It's a movie. Clearly, the
Oh,
mom
oh, wait a
stays.
minute.
Clearly, the
Is
mom
this where
stays
we draw
inside.
the line of not asking dumb questions?
Clearly, the mom is a housewife, and she stays inside all day making these reindeer costumes and cooking this green gelatin blobulous masses that run around the house all day.
Yeah, she does not. Yeah, she does not leave.
She is oblivious to everything outside of that house.
So here we see the him come smashing through.
Well, it was he passed out or whatever, but he leans forward and hits the thing, and it
Yes.
goes into reverse and runs through the garage door that his dad just refixed.
As they're watching, as she's showing his wife, and then when it happens, he looks over and he sees a neighbor who already looked at him weird when he was wearing his wife's robe outside, and
Yeah.
he's wearing the aardvark jacket also.
I forgot to mention that part about the women's lingerie.
Yeah. Once again, this is California, so it's probably what, in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that cold. They have to drive up to the mountain to get actual snow.
Yep.
And then we go. So yeah. So at that same time, Monique is outside and she's laughing.
She is laughing her
She
butt
laughs
off
at the
at
picture,
that
then she watches him come smashing through there.
Right to. And then we cut to the Foxy Lady soundtrack song being played in the headphones of the mailman.
So I'm trying to think here. So this must be the next day because the mail's being delivered.
Yeah, because it's after Christmas, clearly, because that, and everybody's in different clothes. So it has to be the next day. So the mailman's coming down. It could be a couple days later. Time kind of moves pretty fluid through this because we get to New Year's real quick, and then we're, mid-January, February time for, not February, but
this might be on my birthday. This might be on my birthday. But he's all the mail's just falling. He doesn't care.
Doesn't give a crap.
It's what we feel like every time a toy gets delivered, and we're like, "How is the box going to look?"
Yeah, right. So he rings the doorbell, and the brother answers it, and he hands him his smut magazines. And he says, "Where are you reading all this smut?" And then he rings the kid closes the door, so he has to ring the doorbell again so that Lane can answer the door.
Since when the mailmen don't leave it in the mailbox?
Why do they ring the doorbell?
Yeah, so I do think I definitely think you're onto, like, this is all in his head.
Yeah.
But then he asks if he would mind if he took Beth out.
Would you mind if I asked Beth out? And it keeps going on about that whole conversation as we cut to the next scene with Winchester yelling. Was it? Oh, he's trying to get him to go out with another girl. That's it.
Yes.
And he tries to get
one of the partner's daughters.
Yeah.
And he's like, she's so, like, I'm not going out. And he says, I'm in love with Beth. And he says, well, you are going to date.
It's like, you have to move on.
It's been like a week. Right? Although, I mean, I guess if you had that many hangers, if my kid had that much stuff of one person, I'd be like, you need to try and get her back because you've invested a lot of time and money into pictures of her, especially the hangers. All right.
Oh, and this is the first attempt at the dad using his psychological kid-friendly dictionary to try and get the language of the parlance of the time to try and connect with his son.
I didn't even write any of that stuff down, but you are right. He has that book, and he keeps looking back to it.
Yep.
Um, so he pulls up here, and I love the fact that she opens the door and she's like, "All right, let's just get this out of the way. I don't want to go out with you.
You don't want to go out with me. Here's the tally. How about you give me this much and we're good."
Now, who remembers having calculators that printed out the totals?
Those were kind of the only calculators you had back in those days.
They
You
were
had the
so
solar,
awesome.
you had the solar powered ones or the ones with the tape on it, right? So
Yep.
yeah,
Those were so awesome. I loved them. But the fact that she's like, that's $10 a person unless you're cheap. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. And she's talking through the braces, which is absolutely awesome. And also goes back to One Crazy Summer where they wear the braces in those too.
yep.
The dog does too.
The dog. Yeah. She comes out to 1367.
Do you take checks? What kid in high school is carrying a checkbook? Was that something in the 80s that we didn't know about?
You know what? I guess if you had a bank account, I don't know if your parents got you a bank account for putting all grandma's money in when she gave it to you that you didn't spend. I don't know. I spent all that, so I don't know.
I know my son has. So then we end up at the New Year's dance.
Almost. The brother opens up one of his magazines and it's How to Pick Up Trashy Women. So that's the setup.
Which will be what comes into play in a little bit.
Yep. And then we get to the disco. And the singer up there is singing the song Better Off Dead.
Yes. And the song is damn good. I mean, it is a good song. It fits perfect. I mean, it's no Rad, but I mean, no songs from Rad, but all the music in this is really good.
Yeah.
But the fact that she's singing it, Better Off Dead. Again, the movie really does have a meaning for it. Now, this was probably one of the worst pictures you could have had of her, but and here's where you see Beth just embarrassed for him.
Yeah, she's pretty embarrassed for him, and Roy comes up to make fun of him about Charles and Lance being, the king and queen of the prom or whatever.
You got my vote for the cutest couple.
And Charles just starts laughing hysterically. How do you deflate a bully who's trying to make fun of you better than laughing at his joke harder than anyone else? And he does it so perfectly, it carries on to the next scene.
If you have ever just laughed at someone and done it again in school, and you just started laughing, no context, no. It is so aggravating to them.
Yes.
And he does it later on while they're dancing.
It's perfect.
But he doesn't go. He's like, and then he breaks out into his laugh, and they're so annoyed with him.
It is done so perfectly. It shows you how to deflate a situation. It's awesome.
Yeah, because what are you going to do? But once again, Beth looks super annoyed.
Yep.
You're an embarrassment.
Yep.
Because they're just sitting there. The only thing Lane did was get broken up on.
Right.
He didn't even do anything.
Yeah, and clearly he's going after him. And then you see Ricky dragging Monique, literally dragging her in. And then he starts dancing with her like a freaking weirdo. And then she spins off and everybody's watching him dance. And he starts doing his dance and everybody's loving his dance. So he's like, hey, I'm cool. So I'm the center of attention.
And then he does the worst jump. He does the worst belly flop ever. You could have put a mat there or something. But he jumps down. He lands. He's dead, and they just dance around him.
Oh yeah, they don't give a shit. Have you ever seen the TV show Head of the Class?
Yes.
So he's Dennis from Head of the Class.
Oh wow, yeah. Funny thing is, I actually made my daughter watch the reboot of Head of the Class.
I didn't know they had a reboot of that.
It's on. I think it was on. I think it was on HBO Max when I had it.
Okay.
and um it I believe one of the kids is either the teacher or their kid goes there.
Oh, okay.
I know Denise's. Was it Denise? Who's
Hmm.
the one that Mike Tyson was married to?
Yeah, Robin Givens.
Yeah, her son or daughter is in the class, so you
Okay.
do see a couple episodes where she's in it.
Okay.
I forget exactly how it ties, but it is all part of it.
Oh, that's interesting. I might need to check that out.
It wasn't as good as the Punky Brewster remake, but
Oh, I didn't see that either.
that one was awesome. Honestly,
I
God,
did.
like
I did actually know about that one though.
that one's good. Unfortunately, it only lasted one season. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
Same with Saved by the Bell.
And then here we get Charles still laughing hysterically. And then you see Lane leave the dance, and then Monique follows.
Yes, and trips him or pushes him or
I
does
don't know.
something just to get his
Maybe,
attention.
maybe he just tripped on the stairs himself. I don't know. Whatever. It starts the conversation.
His name is not Joe Biden. He did not trip on the stairs. That one was not even planned, guys. I didn't even think
nice.
um,
And then they start talking, and it's like no English. And then Ricky comes running out of the place, tracking her down, trying to find his girl that isn't his.
Mom
Says,
will not be happy if we're in the front.
Do not upset mother. You wouldn't like her when she's angry.
And Monique to this day is still pretty hot. Just
Yeah.
want to say that. So is
yeah.
Beth. So is Beth for that matter.
Except for that little mustache she had going on, but that's another anyway. And then Roy comes by and talks about water ballet.
Yeah. Which I don't understand why Roy had such a I can't like, and not to mention Roy's. I mean, he's sitting here with this hot foreign exchange student.
Yep.
I don't know why that would upset. I would be more upset that. Oh, wait a minute, you get the hot foreign exchange student. But I've always been a brunette person, not a blonde person. So
Right. Honestly, I think Roy is that archetype of the insecure jock who has competition, and he has to break down that competition any way possible
yeah,
to demoralize him, to raise himself up, to make himself look more important in the situation. Narcissistic type of personality.
I mean, he's already trying to be Ted McGinley.
He totally is. Absolutely. He wants to marry Marcy Darcy one day.
Yeah. Until he finds out that he marries Marcy Darcy. Then he's like, wait a minute.
Time out. Hold on.
Why would I want to be this guy so bad? And then his mom shows up and tells me and says, "Was that Meyer boy bothering you?"
Yeah, and she gets so pissed. Why aren't you here? What's that Meyer boy doing? And then we get the bicycle kid again. The paper boy comes back.
Yeah, I totally missed that. But we get bunch of paper boys.
Yeah, they start crowding them. I want my $2, and they go after Lane. In the Paperboy sequel.
and again, one of those weird things where you have to have a key out to unlock the door. You can't just hit the button and then unlock or grab the handle. And he's trying to get it.
and we get the Hitchcock moment again, because Hitchcock used it. A couple other people used it where they move the camera and zoom.
Yeah.
So you get that whole perspective. Jaws did it as he's running for the keys.
And I don't know why I didn't get any, but then he thinks he's like away, and all of a sudden you see he's on top of the car, and he drives off with him, and he falls off of it. And
I think that's later, but
I thought it was because it's all foggy, and then he gets home and he runs in the door and shuts it.
Yeah, he makes it home. Yep. And then that's when you see the book, Teenage Psychology, that the dad is studying.
Yeah.
As he's trying to create that relationship. And then you see he walks into his brother's room and
He's totally Hugh Hefner here. Like
His book on picking up trashy women apparently works.
and again, like I don't know why Lane didn't stay. I would have been like, you know what, Beth, who?
I mean, he's still obsessed, right? He's still
Yeah, that is
obsessed
very
with
true.
all the stuff. And he doesn't want to catch an STD. His brother doesn't know about STDs. He's only 8.
Yes. Clearly not just playing with toys.
And clearly not just playing with toys.
Might be playing with some toys. Looks like he's gonna need 5 of them.
And then we see the brothers got building a space shuttle kit, and mom is cooking a Cthulhu monster, and then Lane is with Charles Demore talking about his dad's talking about getting a job.
Yeah,
and that he's got a job for him to do, and then we get the Q-tip monster.
Yeah, so he comes up to talk to him, and he turns, and we had already seen him starting to put the Q-tips in different spots, but we hadn't seen the full effect yet. The fact that there's no words in this. He opens the door, he turns around, and his dad's just like, all right. And
whatever.
All I can think of is cotton in your mouth. Like, that's got to be very disgusting.
Unless you're Elf and you think it's cotton candy. I mean, yeah, whatever.
We did watch that on Christmas Eve.
So many parts of that movie gross me out so much. I don't
know. There's the octopus.
Yep. Yeah, there's the Cthulhu monster that mom is cooking. And then we get Lane at the pig burger.
Yes. And I swear there have been other movies that have done this type of thing. And maybe it's just that Mandela effect. But I know like the California Raisins were very similar in this whole.
Oh yeah. No, there's clear influence from California Raisins in this animation scene.
But this makes you not want to ever eat out again.
Yeah, I mean, if you know much about fast food and how it's done, Chick-fil-A does it right. From everybody that I've ever known that's worked there, they do it really nice. When you work at any other fast food place, you get so many horror stories. You're like, maybe I don't do that.
It just leave it in the grease a little bit longer. But this guy, it's funny because he tells them everything that you'd want to hear.
Yep.
And then does everything the exact opposite.
Yep.
When he goes to wash his hands, you wash your hands.
On your own time.
But he's telling him how you pat them.
Well, and he's doing it with his bare hands too. So he's patting the burger
while smoking a cigar.
And he jams a cigar in one of them.
Well, that's one he can't use because.
Yeah. And then we get It's Alive.
This part is really good. I like this. It is Muppet Baby. Reminds me of Muppet Babies. You have this imagination. This is how we played as kids, like you just had this imagination you were someone else. Now he's a senior, imagining that he's making a Frankenstein hamburger. But hey, who hasn't had that dream, right?
It's an animated music video. It's awesome. I mean, but clearly it's a music video because they threw the song in there, and everybody wants some.
And I think I wrote, "Give me these toys."
Right?
No one has made these toys.
Boss fight may get to it at some point.
Well, we may get a reaction figure. It'll just stand there, do nothing. And I'm trying to think.
Because then in the middle of the music video, the boss jumps in
Yep.
and tosses Lane out in front of everybody. This is the time that Beth looks the most uncomfortable with the back and forth, because she's like, she feels bad for Lane for what's just happened to him. And then Roy's making fun of him. And I think she's like, it looks like she's done with it.
Yes. And in actuality, the only reason why Lane is acting like this is because of her.
Right.
She is like the sole reason for it.
Yep.
But I was with you like all these times. But yeah, this is probably the worst one where she's just like, dude, you can't get any more embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
And then we end up with he comes home to the how to build your own space shuttle out of household items.
We get Lane on the mountain and he wipes out again for try number 2. And then we go to the space shuttle with the household items. And then he's plotting his suicide.
Yeah. And
he's getting ready to light himself on fire.
Well, no, we have Barney that talks to him.
Yep. How's that rat race?
And the fact that Barney talks to him, you're just like, all right, that's when you know, like, this he's got other issues other than just that he's obsessed with Beth.
Well, he starts talking about those ideas: suicide by fire, sex orgy on Long Island. Oh no, this is the newspaper. Oh, sorry, this is the newspaper. With the space shuttle and the household items, he looks at the newspaper and there's a bunch of shit on that newspaper that's fucking hilarious. Really? If you look at it, yeah. So one of the big headlines is "Man commits suicide by fire." There's a big sex orgy happening on Long Island. Lose 6 pounds while you sleep. Now you can know what others are thinking and how everyone in the rat race, or how to escape the rat race and still keep your job. Those are all the headlines and news articles on that newspaper that are there.
I never read that.
I took a look at it this time just to see it. I thought that was hilarious. They printed all that crap out. And then we get Barney Rubble.
And he basically he wants to ask Beth out also. Which I think Betty might be a little upset, right?
Maybe. I mean, it depends on you, Betty, you're Wilma, yeah, Beth. I mean, whatever.
So then we catch him then he's in the garage. And he's got the blanket around him. He's got the tie around his head. He's got the tie around his head. And he's clearly planning to light himself on fire at this point. Yes. And he puts the primer in the mason jug. And then he shows up and his dad's like makes him sit down.
Well, because they're having a family dinner. It looks like a family dinner with the neighbors. The neighbors came over, so we're having dinner with the neighbors.
And this is where we get the French fries,
French dressing, French bread, and Peru.
I didn't even realize bottled water was around that long. A matter of fact, when he's in the ski shop, I didn't realize the North Face was around for that long.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, at one time it was just a ski thing. But yeah, the whole French, and none of it mixes.
None of it.
Like the French dressing. What does the French dressing go to exactly?
Well, clearly the French fries, because you stick your fries in the dressing. Have you not ever done that? I mean, come on.
That's so disgusting.
Maybe you pour it on the French bread. I mean, you got to put something on the bread.
Oh, I guess French fries and French bread work. In your Peru.
I got the biggest kick out of that one because that's just funny. Monique pretends not to understand any English.
Yeah, at this point we don't realize it. At this point we, and she's talking about the language of love. You should see these two. And
Well,
she grabs. No, go ahead.
wait, yeah, it's funny because it's just the international language.
Yes.
You know, the language of love. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? And Lane's like, him and her makes, and then he starts pouring the lighter fluid on himself.
And then she starts drinking.
Well, no, and then Monique asked in French to go to the bathroom, but the mother is the only one that understands that, and she describes, I guess, which way to go, but she understands, so she gets up and goes to the bathroom, and that's when Ricky's mom pours the lighter fluid into her beverage and drinks it, and says, "This is fabulous liqueur."
Wait a minute, we forgot because I love the dad. She doesn't speak any English, so he just talks louder, like which is something every single dad would do. That she doesn't understand you. How are you liking things like that? That's not a translator, right? Oh, stop! Hold on.
Yep. Yeah, that's funny. And the Ricky's mom pouring the lighter fluid in her drink, taking a drink, and then says it's fabulous liqueur, the lighter fluid that she just drank, and she's enjoying it. And then she goes to light a cigarette. And the dining room blows up.
Which is absolutely awesome. Again, it's going back to Christmas Vacation. We kind of saw the same thing.
Oh yeah.
But the extent of her injuries when you see it is awesome. So the next thing you see is Lane driving them to school. We're sorry your mom blew up, Ricky. Doctor said she'll be okay. She's gonna have to lay off the spicy foods for a while.
I totally don't understand that, but the way they did the pauses was perfect. It's like, I'm really sorry your mom blew up, Ricky. Pause, like she's fucking dead. And then you come back and says, Doc says she'll be okay, but she can't eat spicy foods for a while. How the hell does that correlate?
Yeah. And so this is where we finally find out about Howard Cosell.
Yep. We get the Japanese racers. They pull up again. And then you find out which is better, speaking no English or speaking Howard Cosell.
Which I love. Like and so now it's like, oh, now this all makes sense. And then you also kind of get that Monique she's kind of racy. Like she's adventurous.
She's also sick and tired of the bullshit that she's been put through, and she wants something to change.
I don't blame her. And in here, Ricky is saying, "Mother would not approve of that."
It's not appropriate to go faster than the speed limit.
And then the light turns, and Monique punches it. Which back in the day, you would be able to probably do.
Yeah.
You used to be able to just kind of reach your foot all the way over. Now these do have bucket seats, but I love like the way they all were. Like she's excited, he's scared. Ricky's like, "We're gonna die."
You get the nuns in the crosswalk. You get the construction workers as they spin around the nuns and they start going backwards right into the mud pit with ducks. Where the fuck did the ducks come from?
Better question is, why are the ducks in the car when they get to school?
Well, okay, we haven't gotten there yet, but yes.
I couldn't find any pictures, but yes.
But we get Monique laughing her butt off. At first, Lane's like, "Is you okay?" And she's just laughing. And then he's like, "Is Ricky dead?" Ricky's dead. And Ricky brings up and says, "I'm gonna tell Mother." And then the next thing we do is we see him pulling up to the school, and they open the door, and the ducks get out.
The two ducks get out.
How did the ducks get in the car? Why did you take the ducks with you? I have so many questions. And then you see Monique and Lane sharing lunch as they sit down, and she's hanging out with them. And then Roy comes up to, be a jerk and basically say, "Hey, we're running tryouts for the captain of the ski team. All you have to do is beat me, dick." Or are you gay? Do you really like Lane? Is that really what's going on here? That may be the case. I don't know.
And again, this is where you see Monique has a lot of spunk to her.
Yeah, I love it.
She shakes that can, and he kind of insults her too.
Yep.
He totally insults her too, and then she opens it up and gets it all over. And basically, he says, "You two are like good for each other," something like that.
Well, he calls her a frog. The first thing, as soon as he gets sprayed in the face, he calls her a frog right away, which is obviously a derogatory term for the French. But and that's when Lane decides to stand up for her, and himself, and challenge him. And so they decide they're going to race at Sunday at noon. And it's like, nobody else has to know. It can be just between you and me. And then they announce it on the school radio.
Like instantly. And then we see Lane taking his broken skis. Again, I'm not a ski expert, but I think that if a snowboard was broken like that, and I can speak from experience with skateboards, I don't think you can get them repaired.
Yeah, you really can't fix that.
Not like that. But I love the guys in a full body cast.
Well, yeah. So yeah, Lane's like, "Oh, great, race, lose, die." And Monique is asking about the car, but without speaking English, and he's like, "Oh, it doesn't work." And you can see her thinking about the car. He takes his broken skis, throws them in the car, goes down to the ski shop, and talks to the guy who comes out in the freaking wheelchair, cast in his arms. And what happened to you? And he said, "I ski in the K-12. That was pretty dumb."
And the only thing we know about the car is that it's a Camaro. That's the only thing that's been told us.
Yeah, we don't know anything about it. It's been under the tarp the whole time. We don't know nothing.
We know it's tasty. Oh, I'm sorry. So this was when
yeah,
the kid. Yeah. So when he leaves the ski shop. He ends up on the car. I was thinking this was during the fog. The fog, he just drives home really quick and runs in.
Right, that's what I was saying. Okay. Yeah. And this is when he's like pounding on the roof of the car, and then he's hanging on the roof. And what's funny as hell to me is that he finally takes his car through the car wash, and the kid's like, "No, I can't swim." It's like, "You're in a car wash. What do you need to swim for?" But
again, Matthew, this is where you want to make sense of the movie. So he comes home, and she's chucking these.
Bam.
What is she throwing? Some sort of fruit.
I don't know if it was an apple or something, but yeah, it was some kind of fruit. And she's wham! She's nailing that sign. Boy, she's got a good pitching arm there, apparently. And that's when we find out she speaks English.
Yes, and he calls her a big phony. And he said, and she tells him, you would too if you had to live with him. You had to be in there with him.
And he's like, "You're not wrong."
And what is he?
Well, and you find out that The only thing that she really wanted to do is to come to America and see the Dodgers Stadium.
The Brooklyn Dodgers.
The Brooklyn Dodgers Stadium. And this is when they also decide that they're friends. What about friends? Friends are good.
And this is when I had to go like, where the hell are they at? But she's wearing an LA hat in the next, and I'm like, all right. She doesn't even realize that they've moved. And they moved a long time ago.
Well, she says Brooklyn Dodgers, but they're in Northern California, so whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it made me like, wait, are they in Brooklyn? Because they're not dressed pretty. They're not dressed warmly if they're in New York.
Yeah, no, they're definitely in Northern California.
Yeah. And then he grabs her cheeks, and what does he say to her?
Friend.
Friend. And then Ricky's mom comes out, yells at her to get in.
And then she comes back and she kisses him, just in a friendly way. But she does give him a kiss and goes back in. And that's when the mom's like, "Is that Maya Roy bothering you?"
She's probably still a little bitter that he blew her up. Well, I guess he didn't technically shouldn't be smoking in someone else's house.
Well, I mean, she blew herself up. I mean, she was drinking. She chose to pour that lighter fluid into her glass. That wasn't Lane's fault that she did that, just because he brought it to the table. I mean, she didn't notice the smell was a little. I don't know. Whatever.
Friend.
Friend. Got it.
But the whole look of it is awesome. It's very natural. Like, it's what you would do to someone. And then he goes to throw it. And he hits a window. And he like runs across the street.
Yep.
So you just realize he's not good at anything other than skiing on one ski, which we don't even know yet.
Yeah. Well, and then the next scene is she's under the car working on it.
Yes, and I mentioned it a little bit. So she comes out and he's like, "What are you doing? Like, it's already messed up enough as it is." Obviously, she knows how to fix cars.
Yeah, and she's like, "Well, like, what's this piece for?" And he's like, "Well, you can fix it." And he's like, "No, I can't fix anything. I built a birdhouse in shop class one time and it was condemned by the city."
And so if you look, the dirt on her face never changes. It's always the same.
Well, I mean, they went to start to work on the car together. They pushed it into the garage and they started working on it together.
And I don't think he has anything on him.
Oh no, he's the star. He doesn't get dirt on him. It's like Bill Murray in Ghostbusters. He doesn't get the marshmallows on him. Everybody else got covered in marshmallows, but he just had a couple little swaths on him because he didn't want that shit on him.
So again, all we know is this is a Camaro.
Yeah,
they cleaned it up. They've got this thing to run in one day, presumably, right?
Yeah.
Polished it, waxed it, got all the scratches that you could see, and then they pull out.
Well, we don't know what state it was in before, right?
But you could see when they open it up, there's scratches all on the door. But let's be honest, we've seen cars under tarps.
Yeah, true enough. And then we also get the conversation about the you have a dramatic death wish. And he says, you want to die to get the attention of a woman? There's other ways to do that. And then they're they talk about that. Then the car comes out and it's gorgeous. It's perfect. It's
down south has a good question. Where were all the parts? Where do the parts come from? Like,
well, clearly the car worked just fine if you rearranged everything in the proper order.
Is that what it was? The parts were just arranged in the wrong spots.
Clearly somebody didn't know how to put the car back together. They just saw the picture of it. They didn't realize how it fit properly. So they just put it back together correctly. I mean, come on, man.
But then you see the car pull out. And I will say this car is beautiful.
It is absolutely beautiful. The Camaro in a lot of its formats, Corvette more so, but the Camaro also one of my favorite cars ever.
But the Camaro is different.
Yeah.
The Corvette, even though it didn't start off as a sports car, in the 60s, or the 50s and early 60s, it became that. This was a muscle car.
Yeah.
And as much as I love the design of the 70s and 60s muscle cars, some of them have very small wheels. And if they don't if you don't enlarge the wheels, they just look like something's off. This car looks so perfect. And I'm a Mopar guy. But you see this car and you're like, and he kept saying, if I got my Camaro, I would wipe the floor with them.
Yeah.
Like, no shit.
Clearly, because that era of Camaro had the fastest 0 to 60 time, had the smallest 0 to 60 time. It was an amazing car.
And again, it's one of those things like, yeah, if your muscle car was working, you'd blow those guys away.
Clearly.
And of course, he sees them.
There they are.
Now
and they're with their girls and they're eating noodles in their car at a stoplight. That's not racist.
Yes. And this is always, why are they stopped in the middle of the road just eating Chinese food? It looks like they're parked, and he pulls up right next to them. Like, are they waiting for the next race?
Who knows? But you notice that this is the only time that Lane comes up on that side of the vehicle.
Yes.
He's, all the other scenes, he's on the other side.
And then he rolls down the window with his aviators on. Now he has aviators.
What happened to his ski goggles?
He left
snow blinders.
He left them in the station wagon.
Must be in the station wagon, and this is where he kept his real sunglasses the whole time.
And this is the first time we see them all put helmets on.
Well, I mean, that's what does it, right? He takes off, and the girls are trying to put on their helmets real quick and everything.
And he takes off, and he just blows right by him. They don't stand a chance, right?
No.
And then the girls are like, the girls pull a total Beth on them. You can't win a race. We're done. We're out of here.
We're out of here. What's up with you? No, we're done. I mean, come on.
We'll find some Asians that can win races.
Down South 77, I have to say that I had a Datsun pickup truck that was a standard, and I found my way to eat some Taco Bell nachos with cheese sauce while shifting gears. So I had the cheese sauce on the hand that was on the gear shifter and one hand on the wheel that I would take off to dip the chip in the sauce to eat it so I drove a stick shift while eating nachos in the car. I'm just saying it can be done.
I drive a lot. There are certain things that I refuse to ever eat and drive. Tacos is one of them. I've never thought about this. Thai food and Chinese would be another one of them. So yeah, I've never even thought about it, but tacos is one that I'm like, I would never try and drive and eat a taco. I don't like like sitting in my car and eating the taco because it usually goes all over the place. Yet I do it a lot because I'm in my car so much.
That's bad taco form, man. Bad taco form.
Hey,
You don't like this. You don't like this.
So
we get back to the pig burger with Monique and the Camaro, and he's got that whole romantic dinner set up for her
because he still has the keys.
I mean, he was thrown out of the place, but the guy never took the keys back. So,
and that I didn't even question. Like he never took the keys back. So all right, he has the keys. He makes the TV dinners because he had so many of them.
Why not? Hey, this one's really good. Let's say she'll like that. And then he whips out this saxophone. He's pulling his Kenny G on her.
Oh my gosh. So then next thing we see and they're skiing. This is where we find out she can also ski. Like Monique can do anything for the most part.
Right.
And she's explaining all you have to do. And so she goes
Go
down.
that direction, and if something gets in your way, turn.
So she goes down, and he says, "Well, if you can do it." Again, I am not a skiing expert, but I would assume that if you're trying to ski this really big mountain, it is not best to just start to jump down and land somewhere on the hill. But he does.
Hey, it depends on if you're trying to jump into a bowl or where you're at, I guess. I mean,
but I would think that you would want to ski down into it since you're so scared of this. But he just jumped right into it.
Jump right into it.
And then it goes into the skiing montage after he falls.
Crash and burn, crash and burn.
Now, the skiing montage, if we thought that the stunt doubles for Crew Jones and Lori Loughlin were bad, and those wigs were bad, they are nothing compared to Monique's.
I was going to say, I thought Lane's was great, but yeah, Monique's was terrible.
First off, Monique, her hair was this high, and I'm not talking about the hair. It was just high, and you're just
maybe she heard the chalkboard scratch, and it just shot it straight up. It was a little curly, and so it just went straight.
I just you couldn't find a female skier that could do stuff like this.
Well, it looked like they found Richard Simmons. I mean,
kind of does. But yes, these stunt doubles, their looks make again the Lori Loughlin, Crew Jones dance look like it should have won awards. It was so much better. But yes.
Marcy Darcy had no hair. She shaved her head practically. I mean, she cut that shit as short as possible.
Yes, I did, Jefferson. I'm okay, buddy. I don't really act like that. I'm okay. Roman came up like, "Are you all right?"
I love the trick skiing that they're doing with the camera angles, and she's coming between the legs, or he's coming between the legs, whatever. They're going back and forth. I think that's hilarious. And then we get Charles Dumas coming up and says, everyone in the state of Northern California. So he's already declaring that Northern California is its own state. It's not associated with all of California. So clearly he wanted that separation back then. I'm just saying.
They fall, and this is where he gets the ski run over.
Yes.
Now the only thing that doesn't make any sense is here they're at the top of the K-12.
Yep.
How do they ever get back up there?
Don't question the logic of a comedy. I'm just.
And as they're waiting, Roy's just like, you know what? He's not going to show. I'm up here. I might as well ski it anyway. Well, how else are you getting down?
Well, yeah, clearly. I mean, there's only one way down. But yeah, you get Charles that skis over there, bust that up, and then you see the terrorist kid, the paper boy, starts coming after him, and then we cut to Roy at the top. So you see Lane is already running away from the paper boy as Roy's like, oh, well, it doesn't look like he's going to show. Might as well set it up for my timed run anyway. Well, duh, that's what we were going to do no matter what. So, let's just set it up and go. And then he's about to go, and then Lane shows up.
So here's another question. I know we're going to question a comedy, but we've already discussed how difficult it is to walk around in ski boots. Why is it that the two people that are up there that have no intention of skiing are not just wearing regular snow boots?
Because it looks better.
All right. That is as good of an answer as we're gonna get.
Well, because they had to get down the mountain somehow, right? I mean, at some point they had to get down off of that peak, so they probably had their own skis.
I would have brought a
They're
sled.
something, but there's probably the groomer trail that goes around the base there that the snowplow goes up and down that they would take down the green trail,
Yes.
and they were going to put their skis on and go down the green trail later.
So here he comes, one ski and all. And you're right. Roy's not ready for the paperboy on his
No.
ski bike, who skis the K-12 on a bike.
On a bike. And if you look at him, the kid's got he's got ski boots on with stunt skis, and then skis on the tires because the tires are locked on the bike. Man, what the hell?
Well, now we know why he needed the $2. Fatrid says there's another slope on the other side off camera. There's the green circle. So,
Yeah, I mean, clearly there's got to be another, like I said, a groomer path or something that the cat tracks go up and do all that stuff.
and of course, Monique is down with Booger. Somehow, she magically ends up down at the bottom.
Well, they were already down anyway.
No, they weren't. He ran over the ski, and then she went down.
No. He ran over the ski. They were already practicing the mountain because they were on that green trail. And when the kid wanted his $2, chased him back up the mountain, which is how he got back up there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. and Charles like he's on one ski. Roy ends up pushing the paperboy off the mountain.
And he falls to his death, but he doesn't die.
$2. And of course, Lane wins on one ski.
You're the hottest thing since the sunburn.
And Monique is so happy for him. And of course, what happens?
Well, if you notice, Beth kisses him.
Yes. Oh yeah, Beth kisses him.
Yep.
And then he realizes that Beth isn't who he's obsessed with anymore.
Nope, he's done with that. And then Monique, but she sees that and she gets disheartened and immediately gets kidnapped by the Smiths again. They're like, "Come on, Monique," and they start dragging her off.
I'm glad they knew exactly what ski, like where they were at.
Well, the whole town was there. I mean, everybody knew what was going on. So Ricky had to know that the race was going on.
Okay, that's all right. It was announced over the loudspeaker.
It wasn't
right after the challenge was thrown down.
And then you get the Japanese guys coming up again, and the Howard Cosell commentator coming up and looking off into a camera that's not even there about, how did you get to do this today? And he says, language lessons. And runs off to go save Monique.
Holy shit. Do that again. Put your thumb up.
What?
Hey, tell me everyone else saw that. You put your thumb up, and a thumbs up came up, like, right next to you. Like, put your thumb all the way up. Like,
I don't know.
All right, tell me everyone else. Please, tell me everyone else saw it. Wait a minute.
All right. Okay. We all know he's straight edge, so I don't know.
Dude, there was a thumbs up popped up right up there. You had your whole thumb up.
I don't know, man. I didn't see it. I was looking down at my notes real quick.
Come on, seriously. Now, I swear to God, like it was like in a certain. I'm like, wait, how?
That's a strange filter. I don't know. It's possible. I could see it happening.
I just backed it up. It's there.
Okay.
Hold on. I gotta get you to do it again.
I don't know how it
I'm trying,
happened.
sorry, I'm watching the replay because I need to
Yeah.
figure this out. Can I do this on my live streams?
Can you replay the replay of the live stream? Boy,
Yeah,
that's
see, Patrick said, see, so what was he doing? He had, maybe because you're on top.
I don't know. I mean, oh,
There
there
it
it
is.
is.
2 hours and 14 minutes into this, and we found out if you hold your thumb up, maybe because you were on the top.
So I did it with both
Okay.
hands. It just happened with both hands. So
All right, so let's see here. I'm on top now.
Still me.
You know what? I must be too dark or something.
I have no idea what that's from. I've never seen that before, ever.
I never have either. Because I was so excited over it. I'm like, oh my God, look at that.
It's one of the new features of YouTube.
When many years ago, I used to drive my grandmother's 86 Tornado to school, and it was fully loaded, right? And one day I'm driving home with a couple buddies, and it was all, it was all electronic, and had the digital display before anything. If you held a specific button for like 3 or 4 seconds, I'm like, what is this button? I'm holding it, and we're driving down the road. Everything starts flipping out, and like it runs through all the diagnostics, and we're like, oh my God, do it again. That's what I felt like.
All right, so you're not on any extraneous medications, no extra steroids
I'm
or anything
not,
today. So
nope.
all right.
Nope. No steroids to make me freak out over it.
Back to the
Only
movie.
9 people saw this.
Back to the movie. He credits his success to language lessons, and then he gets into the confrontation with Ricky. Says you got to do what mother says, and they get to the ski pole fight.
Yep. And
Lane gets disarmed, and then Ricky charges, and Lane disarms Ricky and runs Ricky right into his mom, picks up the girl, and runs off.
yeah, I gotta get him on order. So then he picks her up. Who she's hot. I'm still saying she's hot.
Yeah, she's pretty good looking.
And then this girl's cute too. A kind of big chin, but loose glasses. She's still kind of cute. And then Ricky finds the love of his life.
Love of his life, and ditches his mom for it.
Ditches his mom. I would have ditched his mom too.
And his mom's like, "Hey, Ricky!"
I love. So the AI is watching. I saw it on that.
So this scene when mom's yelling at Ricky reminds me of a time when in our area we expanded and divided up and started using the 10-digit area codes for phone numbers, and I started getting this call from this grandma lady who kept calling and leaving messages on my voicemail for Ricky all the time. Ricky, are you home, Ricky? And I'm like, is this a joke? You got the wrong number. I don't know. I never answered it when she called because I knew that it was not for me, but I can always hear her voice when I hear this movie's voice.
And then we get a scene of them in Dodger Stadium where they got the car, and my son goes, "You can drive cars in there?" I'm like, "Well,
no."
Yeah. Well, you can get a car. He was asking if you can get a car in there. I'm like, you can get a car in there.
Yes, that's yeah.
They're not going to let you unless you're making a movie.
Well, and there's all kinds of stuff on how you get that car to that location. You ain't driving it there. I mean, it's getting placed there. And then, as they pan out, what do we see? There's the kid on the bike again, coming right at him for his $2. He drove all that way to Dodger Stadium to get his $2 when the dad back at the house has the $2.
Well, not after this. So he finally gets everything fixed, and then you see the lighting and everything light up, and then you get the spaceship that goes right through the roof.
Boom.
But his windows are intact, so that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. The garage door is fine. The roof,
Yep.
gone.
And that's it. And now we got to work on this thumbs up thing. So come on. First off, we got to figure. First off, wait, hold on. I gotta wait. Let me get. I need it to pop up so I can see if I can click it. Oh, wait. Hold on. When it pops up, this is actually behind. All right, there it is. So you can't click it.
I don't know what it means. I don't know what it's doing.
No, we're both on StreamYard. I'm just thinking maybe because I'm too dark.
Maybe it's the camera focus. I don't know.
Yeah. Damn it, I want to do my live stream.
It should be clear on yours. I mean, that's pretty clear distinction. I don't know.
You're very bright. I'm very dark.
Yeah. But the contrast between your hand and the background is clear enough that you can see it's a thumbs up. So the algorithm or the sensor should pick it up. I don't know.
So here I'm now messing with everything. I want to make mine work too. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, the sharpness. I don't really care about that.
So Fat Red Foo, that yes, when you guys hear it, it's probably about 3 or 4 seconds from when we actually say it to one another that it gets picked up and that you hear it. So the chat and what you hear is delayed from how our interactions happen. Between each other, usually not. Sometimes there is, but I'm not noticing it tonight.
No. But I'm watching it. I have it streaming over here on this screen, and it is way behind.
Yeah.
So I'm so mad.
See, I don't know why it wouldn't pick it up right there. I mean, that's pretty clear that that's a thumbs up.
That's what I thought. Oh, oh my God. What the hell is this?
I have no idea.
What? This is not cool. This is my stream. I pay for all this.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I'm getting better lighting now here. There, now I'm more lit up, right? Fuck you, YouTube. Even on my birthday, you treat me like shit.
Hey, I'm giving you all the thumbs up. I mean, so you get to see it and experience the fireworks.
What the hell? I want. What settings are we missing here?
I don't know. I have no idea what that party setting was.
Because you're using this. I mean, you're logged into StreamYard, right? Yeah, right down here it says having issues. Fuck yeah, I'm having issues. I don't have balloons and shit. Because I'm Mexican. Now that does something, that would be awesome. Come on. Damn state. What? This you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, we're both on StreamYard. Matthew has like full admin rights to the StreamYard. So unless if you made some changes, which I don't think you did.
I haven't touched a damn thing.
I just noticed, like, you just had your thumb up, and I'm like, what the hell is that right there?
That's cool.
I guess I'm gonna have to work on this and figure out what the hell it is. The only thing I can think of is because I'm not bright enough, but it seems to be coming.
I have no idea because I don't know that I did anything different.
Virtual backgrounds. No.
I don't have any settings turned on or off. So if it was an auto setting that just changed with this update that they just did, I know StreamYard's been making updates. I know YouTube's been making updates. So I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just.
Well, thank you guys for sitting through all this fun stuff with us. We enjoyed having you here, chatting with you guys. I had a lot of fun with this one in particular. This movie is so much fun to even talk about. So I appreciate that.
I do love this movie. It's you can just turn it on and watch it. You don't have to really think about it. You're gonna catch things. You can walk in and do your dishes, but you're gonna hear something. You're gonna run in and just watch it. Watch that scene. Again, I had a lot of fun. Even more fun when we found out that Matthew can do weird things on my StreamYard that I can't. Oh, Thatcher, you have no idea. It's my fucking birthday. Now I'm going to be like 2 in the fucking morning on this thing, trying to change my lighting and see what setting to make this shit happen. So you're damn right. Like, you guys don't know the obsessive behavior that sometimes kicks in. So anyway, thank you guys all. It's always enjoyable. You know, we need a few more people, but I love you guys popping in. And I also noticed most of you, at least for most of the stream, were on Punks with Film. So that works out. We definitely need to get more people over there.
Yeah, appreciate that, guys.
We can see everything, but I have the main channel on over here so I could see. But I know Down South has been over there, and I definitely appreciate it. Fatrid, get your fat ass over there next time.
Yeah, Fat Red Foo and Down South, we really appreciate you guys engaging. Allison popped in for a minute. Thank you guys for joining us. I enjoy it. I think it's a blast.
Yeah, I do too. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. I will see everyone Monday night. I kind of have a topic in mind. I think I'm going to be discussing predictions and some different things like that for the channel, for toys, predictions, hopes, and I don't know. I keep thinking in my head. I finally wrote it down, but I can't remember it now.
Are you going to do your top 10 figures of the year or classifieds of the year or something?
I am going to do a video.
Okay.
I am definitely going to do a video on it. Hopefully this weekend. I was actually going to do that for the live stream, but I figured, let's just put it out in an actual video because I know not everyone watches the live stream. But I kind of want to do like predictions for the channel, hopes for the channel of what I'm looking for. And just, something easy going into the new year because I know there's going to be other topics I got to come up with. So
I've got my top 10 liked pictures of the year coming up on my stream. I've also got the top 10 action figures of the year, and I've got a top 10 classifieds of the year that I'll be posting all next week. And then I've got a New Year's picture on Sunday.
He means on his Instagram, not on his stream.
Sorry. Yeah,
nope.
Instagram.
No, I don't want people looking for your YouTube and now have like a bunch of like messages like, what's his YouTube like?
Well, I do have a Mamu Nestor YouTube account, and it's got my issue 21 action figure recreation video.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's right.
But that's about all that's on there.
Maybe one day he'll start doing some sort of streaming.
Yeah, maybe.
It just takes up so much time.
It's time. Yeah, that's the big key. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you. Have a good night.
All right, you guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you on Monday. Good night.